Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. So today we're going to be doing an alternative 2018 midterm scenario, including both the Senate and the governor elections in one video, if Hillary Clinton was the president today. I did a video about these two separately before, and now I've decided on today, Tuesday, April 24th, 2018, we would do a prediction whether or not the United States Senate would flip between each political party, or if the governor elections would turn out a little bit different if Hillary Clinton was president. So first of all, this would pretty much be a red wave election year. Donald Trump probably would have still won states like Florida, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, and Iowa, while Hillary Clinton would have won the Rust Belt, effectively making her the president. And if she was president, we would see an extreme retaliation against a Democratic president, which the Democrats have been in power for at the end of her term would be a total of 12 years, and we definitely see some firm opposition coming to the 2018 midterms. Even though Barack Obama was so heavily elected by a considerable margin, 2010 happened, and a whole lot changed up. I mean, the Democrats lost a number of Senate seats and over 60 House seats, and you can just imagine if there was a Hillary Clinton presidency and the Republicans added all the energy on their side, especially with the map that is so heavily tied into their favor, which 2010 was not. So this election would be very important for the governor races. But for the Senate, it'd just be like any other Senate midterm. But the governor races, this one's extremely important because it decides whether or not certain states will be redistricting a little bit different in the favor of one political party or another, essentially gerrymandering. And depending on who wins the governor election, that's essentially what would happen. And the Senate's not so as much important for a statewide and local level, but it's still important on a national level. So first of all, Alabama would have never happened, but we're just going to assume that it somehow went Democratic. And Jeff Sessions didn't win in 2014 where the Democrats won a seat because we can't really take out the Alabama Senate special election and give it to the Republicans. But they start off with 42 seats to the Democrats' 23. So first of all, they would win a number of these seats. Let me actually turn it on safe and toss-up. So first of all, the Republicans would do extremely well in areas that are part of their home country. This is areas that they continually go to rally support, to get donors from, and it works every time. So as of right now, I would give them 49 Senate races safe in their column as of right now, compared to 23 Democratic seats. So the safe Democratic races would be states like Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey maybe, but I still see it going to the Democrat. I really don't see New Jersey flipping even in a red wave year because of Bob Menendez doing extremely well handling that scandal and putting it away from his image. Even though it still shows a little bit bad onto him, it's not as prominent as it was before, and so far opinion polling hasn't really shown an effect. In New York, I still see that one going blue. So California, Washington, pretty blue states. And this puts the Democrats at 33 to the Republicans 49. So where can they win? The Republicans can easily win 34 Democrats to 49 Republicans. Where can they win? In a red wave year, Democrats aren't safe in pretty much any state. We saw in 2014, my lieutenant governor, Anthony Brown at the time, was running for governor, and he lost to my now governor, Larry Hogan. And the state of Maryland is an extremely Democratic state, but somehow it happened just based off the opposition towards the president and opposition towards the Democratic rule. And that's probably what we're going to see here. So states like Missouri could easily flip. North Dakota, Kevin Cramer would take that seat, no problem. Montana, the GOP would be excited enough to get a prominent candidate, and we could see a Montana flip. Indiana, obviously. West Virginia, just as likely. Sherrod Brown, in a time like this, I don't think Josh Mandel would have removed himself from the race. I don't think he would have withdrawn, but Ohio itself, a pretty Republican state as of right now, especially in a Republican wave year. I don't think Josh Mandel would see it as a way for any type of opposition. I think that he would sweep a number of these counties that previously went Democratic, and I think he would have a much better chance of winning, and I don't think he did have a good chance of winning, which is one of the main reasons why he withdrew himself. Although he did cite his wife's problems, you can tell that there was always that underlying message. This is a blue wave year. You're probably not going to win, but if we come to a presidency under Hillary Clinton, we could see a state like Ohio easily flip. Arizona and Nevada would likely stay with the GOP, and this puts them at 57 seats to the Democrats' 34. So that's a prominent number, and that's something that's going to be stuck in the heads of many Democrats looking at the map now, which is one of the main reasons why they need to vote. And that's one of the main things that they've been pushing forward to, because a lot of these Democrats that typically don't vote in midterm elections are opposed to a Republican majority, especially something like this. They complain about a 51 to 49 majority. Imagine a 57. So a number of these seats you see time and time again, Democrats, in order to essentially, not Democrats alone, but many super PACs try to scare their voters into voting, because they're showing them maps where if the Republicans win every single Senate race that Donald Trump won the state in 2016, we would see a supermajority, almost a supermajority in the United States Senate, which is something that doesn't really go well with Democrats, and really tells them that they need to vote. We saw it happen in Georgia, in Virginia, in New Jersey, in Alabama, in a number of these races, and we might see it tonight in Arizona, which I will be covering in a live stream tonight, just saying. The Arizona 8th Congressional District Special Election probably would stay with the GOP, but 57 Republicans, 34 Democrats. Can they expand, and can they win anywhere else? Well, I think they would win Virginia. It wouldn't be a safe Democratic state at this time. 2017 probably would have gone to the GOP if Hillary Clinton was president, and Virginia, I think they would show firm opposition towards Hillary Clinton by electing a Republican to the former senator, now vice president under the scenario seat, Tim Kaine. And, that would be something that would send a rippling message, but I think it's something that the GOP would definitely want to grab, because it would show such a strong message against the incumbent president, who would be Hillary Clinton. I think Debbie Stabenow would still hold on to Michigan. I think Amy Klobuchar would hold on to Minnesota, but if the stakes were as high as they are now, I don't think Al Franken would have resigned. I really don't, and I think that Minnesota that special election would still stay with the Democrats very narrowly. Probably never would have even happened if she was president, but I still think even if she was president, Minnesota would still hold on to that Democratic identity, especially with Tina Smith not being that unpopular. I don't think they would blame her for the things that Al Franken did. Wisconsin, I still see going blue. Pennsylvania, though, I could see going red. I see a possibility of Pennsylvania going red. Before, I was a little iffy on it. I thought the Democrats would have a good shot at it. And same thing in Minnesota with the GOP in the special election. But I still, as of right now, it seems like they're becoming more partisan. And I think Pennsylvania, if Hillary Clinton narrowly had won the state, I think they would show that we're against a Democratic incumbent, and this is how we're going to show it. And they would do it in the House elections. They would do it in possibly the governor election. We'll find out in just a minute. And Florida would go to the GOP. New Mexico, I don't see going. And Maine, I don't see going. But overall, the final map does not turn out good for the Democrats, giving the Republicans 60 seats to the Democrats 40. Now let's move to the governor election map. So 7 Republicans to start off with and 7 Democrats to start off with. Republicans do extremely well in governor election years. They're extremely well at doing this, because they talk about local and state issues that are something that the GOP is extremely good at, just relaying their message of conservatism. And especially it works in Democratic states for whatever reason. It somehow is able to resonate with a number of voters, like in my state or in Massachusetts or in Vermont or in New Hampshire. And it works extremely well, which is something I think the GOP does a very good job at doing. I think that it may not work. But yeah, we're just going to fill in the map. So up across the heart of the country, we see these races all going to the GOP. I really don't see a possibility of the GOP not carrying these races. The Democrats would probably carry their safe states. Actually, I don't know why I filled in Maryland. I was going to talk about, Maryland would go to the GOP. I mean, they have an incumbent GOP governor, and Maryland isn't going to go to the Democrats, especially in a year like this, where there would be opposition towards a President Hillary Clinton and the Democratic administration. We would see Maryland going red, along with Massachusetts, which would also go red. Vermont, including New Hampshire, included. Connecticut, with an extremely unpopular Democratic incumbent, I would see Connecticut going red. New York, I still see holding on to their blue identity. So Tennessee still would go red. Arizona as well. Kay Ivey in Alabama goes red. South Carolina goes red. I believe that's Henry McMaster. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but Oregon, I would see still holding on to their blue identity. Hawaii going blue. Illinois, I think that one would actually stay red narrowly, though. I think it would still be a close race, but I still think it would stay red. That pretty much the Rust Belt would stay red. main parts of the Rust Belt, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Michigan, all would hold on to their Republican incumbents, Iowa included. Georgia, most definitely a popular incumbent there, and Arizona, Doug Ducey, another popular incumbent. Over in Rhode Island, I think the Democrats would narrowly hold on to that, very narrowly. Before, I thought the GOP would take it, but I still think that at this moment it would still be a narrow victory for them. Up in Maine, I would see the GOP pretty much holding on to this ever so slightly. But in Minnesota, I still see it going blue, but it would be an extremely slim margin. But down in Florida, I see holding on to their GOP identity and staying, again, with the GOP. Over in Alaska, the GOP would easily pick up the seat. They probably will in 2018 anyway, and it would be very easy for them. They wouldn't need to nominate an extremely good candidate. They just need someone who's subpar and could actually just get voters out, which is exactly what, on a national level, the Republicans would be doing in this type of scenario. Colorado would probably stay blue. New Mexico, New Mexico, I think that there would be a Republican succeeding the incumbent Republican governor, which is why I think New Mexico would stay red. And then Nevada, we could also see it going to the GOP and just holding on to their more of Republican, more of a swing state type identity, because it's not always going to vote Democratic. And especially since we have a President Hillary Clinton, it would probably be a GOP state. Over in Pennsylvania, this is one that I actually think would narrowly go to the Democrats. A little bit different from what we see in my Senate map, but Bob Casey's not as strong as Tom Wolf, and Tom Wolf, again, if a Democrat can resonate on a state and local level, they'll probably hold on in a Republican wave year. And now let's just go take a look at the 2019 Senate made up with the 2018 elections. We see red across a number of Trump states, and then split decisions down between swing states. Michigan, 2 Democratic senators. Pennsylvania, 2 Republican senators in this scenario. Colorado, 1 Republican, 1 Democrat. Nevada, 1 Democrat, 1 Republican. A number of these states that you notice all were won by Donald Trump, the actual 2016 election results. And if we're talking about a scenario, every single state that Donald Trump carried would have 2 Republican senators, except for Alabama. And Hillary Clinton's states would definitely be a little bit more different, and they would have 1 Republican or 1 Democrat. Really depends. And then looking at the 2019 governor elections, 2019, I think we could see a little bit of a change with Louisiana and Kentucky up, but those are pretty much not races that are going to be seen at a national level. But we would have 35 Republicans, 15 Democrats. Some noticeable things that are different than what we normally see on an electoral map is like Montana, North Carolina, Louisiana all have Democrats, and then Illinois, Maryland, New Mexico, Connecticut all have Republicans in this scenario. So it's something a little bit different because, again, Republicans do very well at state and local level elections because they're able to resonate with voters. But in some other Republican states that are typically Republican, Democrats can actually do really well because these are the type of voters that have been swinging back and forth but have become a little bit more partisan on a presidential level, but not so much on a local level. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you all tomorrow.